Hello, Rino. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you for having me.
I'm really, really glad to have you here. And I would like to start this podcast by asking you one important question that everybody wants to know. Are you ready?
Yes, I am getting ready, but Bacho looks ready as well. He looks um, pumped up, literally. Yeah, I don't know if you saw his face in the recent podcast that he had with Coach Ray.
Yeah.
He looks absolutely enormous, like he got stung by 1,000 bees. He
Yeah.
looks super pumped, so he's definitely going to be ready as well. And I'm not sure how that weight cap is going to affect me. 110 kilos is a little bit low for me personally, but I'm gonna try to reach that goal and maybe even negotiate with Bacho to kind of make it maybe
Make some middle
112
ground.
kilos. Yeah, 112 kilos, so
Mm.
I can focus maybe more on training and less on diet.
How much you weigh at the moment?
I'm not sure because I ate a huge lunch today. So when I weighed myself, I weighed like 118 and a half. But in the morning, I probably have around 116, 115 kilos. And I'm going to start putting in some cardio in my workouts. So I kind of lose weight a little bit faster. So I'm in more of a deficit.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I'm gonna cut out carbs as much as I can and eat only probably meat and protein. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good plan. It's always rough when you have to cut weight and can't focus really just on the main goal, and that's the match, and focus on
Yeah,
on 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 your like plan to make everything like you planned. But uh, what do you think is a game plan? Because many people and like everybody says the most important thing is be stronger, but do you think a game plan is important in an arm wrestling match?
for sure. I would even say that it's one of the most important things, along with strength. I mean, if you can get stronger in a month before your match, then that's great. You should definitely focus on that.
Mhm.
Even if you can't, you should still be focusing on that. That's one of the main things that drive the percentage that you have of winning over your opponent. But a game plan is something that would probably come secondary or would share the first place with strength training. Because if you have a good plan, even though you might be weaker than your opponent, you could probably tire him out in some position that he doesn't prefer and you feel good at. And you can probably utilize all the elbow fouls that you get, especially on King of the Table.
Yeah.
Now, when there's like three fouls and there might
Mhm.
be even running fouls.
Mhm.
So, all of that, I think, is categorized as a game plan and should be used to its maximum potential, especially when you and your opponent are close in strength. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I do have some kind of game plan, but we'll see how that works. It all depends on how I feel after the weigh-in and when is the day of the weigh-in. So
Mhm.
if it's 2 days before, I'm gonna feel great. If it's one day before, I probably am going to feel a little bit worse than I usually would when coming into a match. So yeah, it all depends on a lot of factors, but I think that I'll be ready and I'll bring my A game, at least mental, if not physical.
that's great to hear. That's great to hear. This is a match that a lot of people have talked about, two upcoming stars in you and Bacho. Really, guys who many people can look up to at such a young age to be in that level and be in that position. I can't even imagine where you guys gonna be in in 20 years.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, this is great. This sport is a longevity sport, a sport that you can do very long
Yes.
with the right approach. Um, like you see Devon and Todd Hutchinson, John Brzenk. This is like unbelievable what in what level they are in such a high age. So I think that that's the main thing also that a lot of people should, if they are not considered doing arm wrestling, should definitely consider.
Yeah.
You said many times that you love arm wrestling because it's a single man sport. You don't have to
Yes.
rely on your team. Um, and this is great. How are you preparing your peak week when you're in prep for a big match like this?
So I don't usually stray off too far from my usual training. I
Mhm.
actually always use the same training plan. I will only change maybe one or two exercises. Um, and I don't have a prep phase like in many other sports where some sportsmen, or even in arm wrestling, when they take like a few months of rest and then they continue like 3 months before. I'm just
Mhm.
giving an example. 3 months before some big competition, but I prepare the whole time throughout the year. I don't stop ever, just because I think that's what gives me an edge over my opponents. I think that those 3 months or 2 months of rest are better used as time for training. And I definitely use the most of my time that I can throughout the day to really train as much as I can, and to have a good quality training plan planned out. And I always say to all of the beginners, not only for arm wrestling but for any sport or any recreational like body activity, always have a good plan and write it down on a piece of paper and
Yeah.
do the same stuff a few times a week and see some progress. That will definitely motivate you, especially if you're starting off. And you will of course like to you will love to see some progress physically, and like considering the weight that you can lift probably as well. So make a good plan. And I haven't really changed anything for Bacho. The only thing might be that I am maybe pushing a little more than I usually do because
Mhm.
I'm motivated, and I really want to win this match. Just because I'm coming off from a loss from Matyushenko, and I think that this match is another great one, and I definitely don't want to waste this opportunity to kind of show to the world
Yeah.
that I can really get prepared, even though I have such a short amount of time for preparation for somebody as good as Bacha.
You want to show the world that you're not the next big thing. You want to show the world that you're right
The
now
big thing.
the
Yeah, yeah.
thing. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's great. That's great. The approach you said with writing stuff down and focusing like this, it's in every sport, like you said, super important. I think a lot of people are like buying these training plans or getting a coach for like fitness for basic stuff, and they're like,
Yeah,
yeah, I made so much improvement, but you made an improvement because you had a plan that you followed. When you don't have a plan to follow, I think nothing in life you can
that's for sure.
really
Yeah,
do without a plan. It's
I agree.
super good approach, and I really at your age, I'm 6 years older than you, and I can't say like at your age, but you know what I mean. When I was 20 years old, I did not approach like this. You're really super smart, and I think that you will come far in the sport. Firstly, because you are smart here, and I think this arm wrestling sport is also like a chess game. When you, like you
Yeah,
said, when the strengths are similar, it's really just a matter of who is more well-rounded. And that's my next question that I wanted to ask you is what do you see a big difference in like US and that side of the world and like European arm wrestling? I think European arm wrestling is more like strategized and thought about, and the Americans and the US are more like power wise. Not all, of course. Todd Hutchings, Devon, really people they're next level in in the brain, I think.
Yeah,
But you see the difference, or
yeah,
I've
yeah.
just yeah.
I definitely do see a difference. The biggest difference that I would say is they do a lot more table time, which I think, and in my personal
Yeah.
opinion, is not as useful as a lot of people might think. Um, Most of the techniques that I have learned, I've learned through matches. And if I
Mhm.
ever did a table time, I did it maximum at 70% of my power, and always going nice and slow, going through all the movements, and just learning all the important parts of a technique to kind of make it as good as possible, or to be able to execute it as good as possible. Whereas I see in America, or at the west side of the world,
Yeah.
um, they kind of arm wrestle at 100% of power. They kind of consider that to be training, and
You
I
know,
personally don't think that that's what did you want to say?
I wanted to say that also very much depends on your training partners, you know, and you as
Yeah.
a person, like we said on the start of the interview, you're a guy who don't want to rely on nobody, you know, and that's why I think you chose and found perfect execution in this style of training that you are
Yeah.
doing. So I think if you have good training partners like the Kazakhstan guys who really want to like let you, let's say, pull at 70%, and you know that's great. I My personal experience, I destroyed myself at the beginning and had like crazy
Yeah,
crazy
that's
crazy
a classic for everyone.
it's crazy pain. And that brings me to the next question, is like in Balkan overall, wherever you go, and now when they hear, yeah, you're a professional arm wrestler, you're doing this, you go to a wedding and stuff, how do
Yeah.
you neglect or like say no to people when they, you had seats for sure, had this approach from people like, hey, I want to try you, I want to see how strong you are, what's the top level? You had this experience or no?
Um, yes, but it's a lot rarer than people think. I had a few experiences like that, but it's mostly for a joke, like, oh,
Mhm.
and they pretended that they hurt their arm or something like that. But like, my main thing would be just to say like, no, I don't want to do that right now, or something like that. I just make up some excuse most of the time, and I politely decline. And if they are insistent, I maybe grab their arm and just let them do whatever they want. I never pull for real, and I don't think anyone should really take that seriously. Even if you get recorded losing to an old
Yeah,
guy, that video
yeah.
at a wedding, it's just funny, and it might bring joy to some people. So most of the time, I actually accept. But of course, I have. Always have on my mind that it's my responsibility to keep that person safe, and to ensure that he doesn't hurt himself in any way, shape, or form. So I
You're
always,
being the smarter guy.
yeah, always let him win, and just lightly hold him and show him the basic technique where he just keeps his shoulders straight and
Yeah.
he doesn't turn it inside like this. That's like, that's the only thing that you need to do.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. We had an interaction like a couple of months ago in a train station. Like we we airpolled, like tried some things out, and a drunk guy comes, Balkan guy also here in Vienna. It's like full with Balkan guys.
Yeah.
Brother, no, you have to do like this, you know. And I was like, you know, you arm wrestle, and because we are training the sport, really. I let his provocation come to my head, and then I think about it a little bit, because he start, of course, he, I just threw him a bite, he bit, and then was like no coming back, like, yes, if you want we can arm wrestle for 100 euros. And my guy was like, go bro, go destroy him now, take his money. I was like, What if somebody gets hurt? What what but what if we win and he doesn't have this 100 euros? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it's a crazy sport. It's a sport that everybody has everybody knows better than you. I mean, the the
yeah.
guys
The
do
people
here,
that don't
they
train
really
it,
don't know.
yeah,
Yeah. Everybody knows
yeah,
better than you. We're like at a local gym, trying, because I think, in my opinion, really, um, most of the things where people are weak, and I speak as somebody who's really new at the sport, is to understand how to use your power, and that's why I really want to grip up with people more, because, for example, my rising is super strong. Is super strong. Back pressure, super strong. Back pressure to rising, super strong. But when I get on the table, it doesn't feel like that, you know? And I want to understand the sport more. I want to really understand how the hand works, everything,
yeah.
every
You
angle and
don't have
stuff.
the connection that you want
Yes.
to have.
Yeah. I don't have the connection. I've done bodybuilding for so long, like 6 years, and I had the connection with every muscle and everything. And I think this is not so different than that. Like, you have to fletch your sword to really hit where you have to hit to make it work, not
Yeah,
like pull in some directions where it's crazy. And we have our coach David Nikolic, really unbelievably smart guy, and he lets us utilize these techniques and show our power on the table. Um, I really think your style of training is great, and more people should consider training like that and not overtraining themselves.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, if you wanted to learn how to like activate the muscles that you want and to kind of improve the move that you want, even if you might have like a strong hand and it doesn't seem to be working. I think the best way is definitely, I mean, table time. That's the only thing that you can do. And sneaking, uh, the best thing that you can do is definitely table time. And as I said, maximum 70% power, and trying to look at all the tiny details that at first might seem irrelevant. Those are the ones that usually are causing the problem. So what I notice, like one of the biggest problems for beginners and even some guys that are already for a longer time in the sport, is that they let their rising fall
mhm.
once they start top rolling like this, and they start top rolling with this part of their
Yeah,
hand.
yeah,
And I noticed that it's a lot better when you keep your rising high and you pronate through this knuckle, and you keep your hand in like a high hook position. And eventually, if your opponent is starting to take your wrist, then you let go of your wrist. And as well, when you try to slip, biggest mistake that you could do is let your rising fall. They can hold on to your finger and pin you very easily, but if you keep your rising high, never happens. So those are like minor things that you would
the thing you said
neglect.
with the high knuckle, I think,
Yeah,
super important thing. Super important thing. I started utilizing it the last 2 months, and I seen super big improvement in my top roll, because I'm myself a top roller, a really outside, main
puller. Yeah,
outside. But of course, you have to have the insight for finishing, and for plan B, of course. I really look that I'm all rounded and do everything. But this style, like, really top rolling through this knuckle here, super important. And I think um a lot of people see Devon like pronate and do pronation with thumb to thumb, and everybody's doing like thumb, and everybody's doing like through the thumb, like this or stuff. But I think this style hits really the riser and the pronator at the same time,
yeah,
and it's unbelievably good. And how I understood it the most is like with like starting, and this should be the first thing moving, and then
yeah. Your
like
wrist is the
and then
fastest thing that you can activate on a ready go is your wrist, and then the other things. And like one thing that I don't understand is people constantly try to be someone that they're not. You know,
Yeah,
everybody is trying to replicate Devon's exercises to be Devon, to be the same. They want to utilize the King's move. They want to have a this and that. But it's like, okay, Devon has good exercises. I'm not saying that he doesn't have good exercises, but
mhm,
it's like people sometimes neglect their strong suits
yeah,
and try to be something completely outside of their
ability.
possibilities.
Yeah,
So if you have a short hand, ideally is for you. If you have a short hand and a small hand like mine, then you should definitely like be a hook puller, so you can drag your opponents out. At least that's what I noticed. That like people with shorter hands are definitely better at the inside game, while people with taller hands, of course, have a bigger lever and can top roll much easier than someone with a shorter hand. So it's like utilize your gifts, let's say, that you have, and I mean you should be all rounded, but like
focus on your strong point.
focus on the things that can make you really strong and excel in this sport like that. That's like the best tip that I can give for a beginner.
My opinion on the singles that Devon does. Let's go back to this. I have two questions about Devon, and
Mhm.
I don't want to talk about Devon like in every interview. Everybody talks about Devon. I think that his singles are super good for one thing and one thing only, and that's the static pressure. The static pressure, the start. I like I see it. I this multi spinner he does and stuff. That's the start of the movement because he believes, and I believe also that if you crack somebody open just a little bit, everything falls apart, and you're in a much bigger advantage.
Yeah,
And I think this is this people do it and they don't know what they're doing. You know, I think this is the most important thing
yeah, I agree. I agree that that
about his
first little
exercise.
crack in the armor, the chink in the armor, is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, uh, And the second question that I wanted to ask you and be the first one asking you, but yesterday you was asking at the podcast is like, do you think that Devon can do it this time around?
I think he has a much better possibility this time to beat Levon. But Levon, just in my eyes, is so powerful that it doesn't even matter that I think that Devon won't have enough time to tire him out before
Hmm.
Levon gets like 4 wins.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, I don't think Devon will stop him like Hermes stopped
Yeah,
Levon in the
yeah.
center of the table, which I think tired him out the most. But Levon is so strong that even without his wrist, and we saw this when he was arm wrestling with Devon on the left hand, even when he loses his wrist, he keeps his pronation because he has a strong back pressure,
Hmm.
uh, not because he has a strong pronator. He keeps his pronation with a dead wrist and keeps pulling through with a top roll move, but through this part of the wrist, not through his hand. And I think that that's going to play a major factor, especially if Levon learned some other move, which I don't think he did. But if he did, it's going to help him.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really difficult, but I think Devon has a better chance this time than first time around, for sure.
I think that Devon, I mean, for sure, thinks about tire him out, but I think he plans to really crack it from the start, to crack it like Hermes, to crack it from the start, because I think that if he doesn't crack his wrist or win the rising game, let's say like that on the start, I think that Levan, like you said, can with his side too much side pressure, too strong,
Yeah,
like just
yeah,
less
and
free.
that's exactly why I think he won't win because he can't crack Levon's wrist at the beginning. He can't because he doesn't have enough back pressure, like uh, like Hermes.
Yeah,
He will never be able to crack, or anyone will never be able to crack someone's wrist with just their pronator. It's impossible. You have
of
to apply
course.
back pressure.
Of course, of
You
course,
have
of
to apply.
course.
And Devin is going to do this at the first round, and he always does this. Always, first
But
round
you
is
saw
always
what happened with
like a
Hermes?
safety.
Hermes cracked his own wrist. He applied too much back pressure, and I think he like cracked his own wrist. Not that Devon like cracked him open. He cracked his own wrist because the riser dropped and everything was gone. And
Yes,
the factor, because I'm really rooting for Devon, one of my biggest inspirations, is that I think um, I saw Levin doing like biceps, and his wrist, the left arm was like fully straight, but on the right arm was, a little bit going like this. So I don't know. I don't know in what condition his wrist is. That would be super.
yeah, that injury is definitely not going to help him.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll see. It's going
I
to be
really, I
really,
really
really
think,
interesting.
and I really believe this because Devon is not my like inspiration, because yet he's like number one and stuff. I think I really look up to people who are super smart, like yourself. I really consider you a smart person, and I consider Devon a genius person in his own right.
Yeah,
I think he really will look for the angle where to put the pressure to make that wrist bend back, and I think this will be the main factor that it will happen here. If it happens, that it will happen here, not down, because then down will be too late, like you said.
yeah.
But let's
If I
change.
think that if I just wanted to add,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think if Levon goes into a referee's grip right away, it's going to be easier for him, a little bit easier than a standard grip up. Devon's probably going to try to annoy him, and if
For
Levon
sure.
doesn't give in, it's going to be easier, a
Mm,
lot easier. But Hermes got pissed off really easily, and that's what
mm,
kind of got him
mm.
pinned.
You saw he before the goal, he was like breathing heavy and
He
everything and
was
stuff.
nervous, unsure of himself and what he's
Mm.
doing, and not confident at all in his movement or anything.
Um, do you like recovering with sauna and cold plunge?
I have never done that because I don't like cold water. I mean, I've done sauna and cold plunging, but never for the purpose of recovery. Just because I don't like cold, like I can't really handle cold that well.
Mm, mm,
Even though I come from a part of Croatia that is like the probably the coldest part.
mm,
Um, I don't know. I like to recover either by resting completely for a day or just doing some blood flow work through my
mm,
tendons with rubber bands and light weights. That's or doing cardio as well, like running, or riding a bike, just to get blood flow throughout my whole body. And I think that even getting a high amount of oxygen in your body as well,
hiking.
running
I saw you
through your
like to go hiking a little bit also. I love
yeah,
hiking.
yeah.
Going to
So that would be my go-to for recovery.
I do mostly ice bath because of the mental toughness you have to have really to do that. It's super heavy on here, and I think if you can, I listened a lot to Wim Hof and stuff, and I think that if you can handle that, what's like a shock for the body, you really have to be stronger in the mind, and
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure it helps. Yeah,
Um,
to make your mind a lot stronger.
do you have somebody who inspires you and like makes you go even harder if you don't have some good days? It doesn't have to be from arm
Yes.
wrestling. It's like a general person overall.
Yeah, the funny thing is that I really don't have any inspiration from. I never had someone that inspired me to like go into arm wrestling fully, even though I did start watching Devin at first,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the one that kind of motivated me a little bit, but he's not like my idol, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who motivates me a lot is Mike Tyson and Tyson Fury's mindset. I
Mm-hmm.
really do like their mindset, and it's something that I personally learned a lot from both of them, from listening to a few of their interviews and how they kind of got to that place that they are right now with their mindset. And I guess that and a few other guys, but I don't know their names exactly. I do come across a few of their podcasts, and the way that they handle pressure is really good. Like that guy, you probably know him, but whenever he's under stress or something doesn't go his way, he just says good. You know
I
that
know who
guy?
you mean. I know who you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he just says good and keeps going and says
Yeah,
good, and that's something that as well motivates me.
I know who you mean. I can remember his name is like
No, me neither.
Jack
Yeah.
something Jacko, I think, or something like that. But I know who you mean. Yeah. I love this motivational speeches. You have to go to the dark place sometimes to
Yeah.
push through the hard days.
But I
Um,
just hope that people don't mistake motivation with being like disciplined. Discipline is something that
yes,
is a million times better than motivation.
yes,
Literally,
yes.
motivation might last for an hour, while like discipline lasts for a lifetime.
That's
You
why I
have
love
to,
Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant
yeah,
is like
you have
the
to
guy.
be disciplined. It doesn't matter if you want to be the greatest. You really do have to, like what's his name, the guy in MMA that's like the best. What's his name, the black guy?
John Jones?
Yeah, yeah, he says I think that he said like embrace the ugly, embrace the bad, embrace the bad days, embrace like the sadness that you might be feeling on that day, and just go through all of that. And even if you're not motivated, if you are tired, go to that like state where you just start training, and you kind of go through all of that, and that will definitely level you up and kind of make you stand out from the crowd, and that's what will get you on a higher level.
Yeah, I think for sure that you're right. I think sometimes you have to really, if you're not feeling like that, to just plug out and go and do
Yeah,
what's have to needs to be
ignore
done.
your feelings do not matter in this
Yes.
world of competitive mindsets. You have to ignore that and just go. That's like the main thing.
Um, I really like how you think. How important is the match with Bacho for you?
It's pretty important. Not the most important thing in the world, of course. I think European and World Championships are definitely on the top of my list. But this will be, it's hard to rank it really, but probably just under that
Mm-hmm.
as importance goes. The thing is that we're still so young, and I mean, this match, if you kind of look at it from a perspective of like a long time, it will be insignificant because we're probably going to have a bunch of more matches in the future. But as of
Yes.
right now, it's really important because, at least for me, because people are like expecting this match to show who is the strongest like youth guy in the world right now, and
Mm-hmm.
who is the most prominent prodigy of arm wrestling. So I think that this match is pretty important when it comes to just showing the world who is better. But I think we both of us, regardless on who wins or not, who loses, who wins, we're
Right.
still great, and we will improve with only with time.
100%. 100%. Super interesting match for the whole arm wrestling community to watch. Exactly because of that thing you said. The who is the guy? Mewtwo. Everybody wants to see that, but I think I like how you think that you're thinking in the future. You're not like one
Yeah,
way thinking, and then I like that. I think in my opinion that this match can go two ways. You're both super like fast.
Dominant in the match.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see who's gonna be faster for me too, and I think that's gonna be the factor which will.
Determines who's going to win.
Yes, I think the speed will be a key, and yeah, your engagement with the body is much faster than his, like you said, the reaction in the wrist is the fastest thing you can get, and his cup and his like reaction here is super fast, but you can blow him out. I don't know, I'm really excited to see it. I'm We're for sure all rooting for you, gonna be watching.
Yeah,
um and at the beginning, you said that you don't want to lose again because you lost to Ivan, and I think the loss to Ivan is nothing that you should be sad about.
it's a great lesson.
The guy is like the man, and I knew you were gonna win one round. I knew it. I knew it. I can show you. We like wrote the predictions, and I knew you're gonna win one round. And I everybody was like, no, no, Matushenko is too good and stuff. But I really see the greatness in you, and I really am glad that you accepted the podcast and to be our first guest and to talk with you to really know you a little bit better and how you
Yeah.
think. It's like super great, and I think your future is super big. um we have some couple of questions that our guys from the community and from the club asked, and the question is from first question is from David Coach. Do you think that you can improve even more with if you would start like basic arm wrestling exercises like basic rising or basic pronation or basic up, or you think that you found the way to go and you don't want to change anything?
Um. Well, I think you could. I think as long as you do anything that improves the thing that you want to improve, it works, and it's a good thing. So it doesn't matter how you do it. If it works for you, keep doing it. But don't limit yourself to one exercise and that's set in stone. You should always try other things out, um, and try to improve that exercise even further,
Mhm.
uh, to hopefully get even better results. So for cupping, pronation, and rising, I think static lifts are the best that you can do. Eventually, maybe like you could do a little movement with your pronator, but static is the way to go. Except actually for cupping. Sorry, cupping is the only move in arm wrestling that you always have to actually move
Yeah,
to engage it. So
you're
your
not a
arm
fan
is
of like full
stationary.
pronation, like full pronating from here to here,
Yeah,
more like.
I don't think that's useful at all.
Mhm.
Like you will never be able to pronate probably someone from if you're all the way supinated. So
Mhm.
when
Yeah,
somebody has cupped you
yeah,
in and now you do a can opener
yeah.
like Devin, I don't think that's even like a possibility. Especially if someone is like near your strength level. So I think from the like default position, let's call it, or the position that you would be in a match, from there to your maximum pronation
Mhm.
capability, that's the kind of range of motion that you should be doing for pronation. For rising, I think it's just hold like this statically, activate
Mhm.
it as much as you can, and then lift the weight. For cupping, I would say just isolate your cup as much as you can. Try to involve as less as like as least as you can your body. So like just have your cup working, nothing side pressure, none of this pulling with your
Mhm.
lats,
Mhm.
pulling with your body like this, just your cup. I think that's the best thing. At least that's my kind of rule of thumb, is to isolate a muscle group and then just do that, and then in the end you can do table time to connect all of them together. So
Great.
like one example that I have, and you mentioned this, that you do back pressure with your rising.
Yes.
And I think this is not great for training your back pressure, because your rising is limiting the amount of weight that you can lift with your back pressure, if you understand what I'm saying.
You know what my thinking is? If I back pressure somebody and my rising, I can like do it. My brachialis, my arm allows me to back pressure more weight, but if my riser is not strong enough to hold the exact thing that happened to Hermes would happen to me, I think. Like that's
Yes,
the
but
best example.
okay, yeah, your logic is correct, and it works, but isolate it. So have something holding your arm,
Mhm.
or you even don't need to actually hold your arm, but I just hope that that's not the main exercise that you do
No, no,
for
no,
your back pressure.
no, 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 no. That's more focused on rising. I
Okay,
do the
yeah,
back
yeah,
pressure like you are doing, like here and here, like put the belt here and here.
yeah,
That's
double
I do
belted.
also like yeah. But when I
That's
focus on
specifically for
rising,
rising.
yeah. But in my mind, that's the amount of weight I can back pressure through the rising or like through the pronation is the
Hmm.
real weight. I mean that's not a weightlifting competition, but you know what I mean.
No, no, I understand. That's
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I was just like worried because a lot of people do a lot of silly things, and they always try to combine 10 things into one. So
yeah,
they're gonna be doing with like a rubber band, their side pressure, back pressure, and pronation at the same time. So yeah, that's like, don't do that. Isolate all of the things and keep it its own separate move. Train everything separately. It doesn't need to be even isolated. Just train
yeah,
separately.
yeah. You said that the worlds are the most important thing for you now.
Yeah.
You want to focus on being the number one in the world, and then you will focus more on super matches, or you want to do both at the same time? What's your plan? What is your, let's say, not main goal? Everybody knows what's your main goal, but what is the plan at the moment? What are you thinking about more? Super matches or really worlds?
Probably worlds.
Hmm.
Probably more about worlds. Just because I want to be number one for maybe a year or two with both of my hands. That's kind of the main goal. And especially now that we have support from our country, it's definitely become more important because we have financial support
Yeah,
finally.
yeah,
And it's something that boosts your motivation, and everything goes along with it.
of
And
course.
with super matches, you have the issue, at least for me, is that I never get enough time to train for them.
Mm.
So now I had a super match.
Short notice, everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And now
Yeah,
I had a super match with Matyushenko. I had a month to train with Bacho, and with all of that, I have university going on, which takes a huge amount of time away from my day. And most of the time, I'm tired, and I do still go to train, but it's just not the same. And I would really like to have a period where I'm free for like 3 to 4 months, where I can just focus on training, because
mhm.
that's the only way that I'm going to improve. Right now, I'm staying statically at the same level, not improving at all, probably even getting weaker.
Mm.
Um, while someone like Bacho that can focus way on, he literally said in the interview, he's not going to school, so he finished school. He's only focusing on arm wrestling. So, of course,
Yeah,
it all depends on the possibilities that you have and the kind of environment that you set up for yourself.
yeah,
Obviously, he completely dedicated his whole life to arm wrestling,
yeah.
while I'm interested in kinesiology and kinesiotherapy. So, like recovery with certain training methods and massaging as well. I like that a lot. So, yeah, it all depends on how you set your life up. And right now, super matches are not my favorite thing. like them. I love going to super matches and arm wrestling,
Yeah.
but tournament style is something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I really do like that more.
Tournaments are for you, like for other people going on a Sunday to a sparring.
Yeah, yeah,
um super. I didn't want to interrupt you. I had so much things I wanted to ask you in between. um uh Super interesting, the thing that you said. He has more time and can focus just on that. And like you said, in Croatia now you guys get really a financial help when you're on the top level, and I think this is great. I think I'm also fighting for that here in Austria. At the moment there are not so many clubs to really be able to do that, but this is a goal also in the future.
yeah,
But I think why I started all of this with this social media and stuff, and want to be greater on that, is because I see the potential in all of the guys that I train with. And my main goal is to really allow them to stop working, because everybody from us is working. And then, we can train together. I love training together with them. This is a single man sport, but when we train it as a team, I really enjoy it the most. And I think we all focus on each other, look from the side, because I think also a third eye is also super important when you do something. And my goal is to really get this to a level where we can only everybody from us can just live doing that what we love, and this is arm wrestling, and focus on that one way or the other, like tournaments or
yeah,
super matches, or being somebody who promotes arm wrestling, and is like the guy who pushes and brings more eyes, more people to that. And I think that, I mean, in my mind, this is my job, because I don't see myself as the top guy in the club. Of course, I will never stop training. It's just a matter of time um, when I will, surpass some guys, and that's my mindset. But I focus really on that, and on bringing arm wrestling not just in Austria but in Europe and everywhere on another level. And this is
yeah.
and I
That's
think
great.
you are a big help for that. And I want to thank you again for joining and being here with us. um some new matches were announced for East versus West 12 today. Michael Todd and Mark Lamparelli. What do you think about general about Michael Todd and his
Uh,
comeback?
Michael has had a bunch of versions of himself, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and so on. And that's I think that's some gimmick that he just puts on to kind of
Entertain
motivate
you.
himself and other people. But it's always the good old Todd that we all know. Todd is a great guy. I met him in Istanbul at East West 11. He's super nice, and uh, unfortunately, I think he's getting into the area of his life where improvement is very difficult, especially with his past injuries
Mm.
and his age. And I think I mean, it's a good thing that he doesn't want to give up. That's always good. But eventually, he's going to have to realize that he can't get on the level that he was when he was younger.
You know what I
And
love about that guy? That he has, in my opinion, the most heart from all of our nurses. He's like really
probably, probably,
tough guy, and I think that took him through the whole career he had, and got him where he is today. But continue. I didn't
for
want to.
sure. Yeah, for sure. But of course, that heart that he has come with a lot of consequences,
Yes.
which come in the form of injuries.
Yeah.
And um, he had a bunch of surgeries and stuff, but I think that he will be able to give Lamparelli a good fight. I'm not sure if Lamparelli will be able to beat him, just because Lamparelli's endurance as well isn't that great because
Mm,
he's as well a bit older.
mm,
And I noticed this when I had my fight with him, on the European Championship. I tired him out pretty badly, and he couldn't recover in time. And then I beat him a lot more easily than
mm,
the first time. And I think that Todd's ability to tire someone out might be the best in the world,
mm,
very close to Devon,
mm.
just because of his style of pulling. So I think that Lamparelli might have a big issue with the way that Michael is pulling, and I have Michael as the favorite, even though Lamparelli is as well one of my good friends, and I hope to just see a great
Great
match,
guy.
and I hope nobody gets hurt or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think Lamparelli is has a similar style like Georgie. I think the top roll style that they have is similar, like really top rolling and putting the pressure
Yeah,
through the knuckle, and it's great, like you saw from with Matt Maskey, like busted his wrist open. Um, I think you're right. I think also Michael Todd, if he doesn't injure himself, will will get out as the winner from the match. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Interesting match. Interesting match. Also, Hermes left arm match.
Hermes versus uh freaking what's his name, Alijan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, that's an epic match. Um,
Great match. Great match.
yeah. The thing is that I don't.
Big weight on Hermes' shoulders again, really. Because if
Yes,
he loses
I'm
to
not.
a smaller guy. I mean, his main arm is not the left arm, but again, he
Yeah,
that's something he wanted to show the world.
yeah, to try out. The problem is that I just don't know where his left is right now. I don't know the
Yeah,
level where it's at. He only had the match with Morozov,
yeah.
and he lost because I think he got tired out with
Mm,
Dave the match before, which I don't understand why people accept two-handed matches. That's just silly. Um, but I don't know. Muratov really doesn't like when somebody takes his wrist, and I think that's his biggest like kryptonite.
mm.
Um, I think that's something that bothers him a lot. And if Hermes manages to do that, it's going to be pretty simple and not too difficult for Hermes, in my opinion, because Muratov just doesn't know how to pull without his wrist. But if Hermes fails to do that, Muratov is clear to do whatever he wants with Hermes's hand.
You think the weight difference will be a factor?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I think Muratov is used to pulling big guys and
Mm.
even bigger guys than Hermes
Yeah,
regarding weight, not strength.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, and I think he won't really have any problems with Hermes being heavier. But it probably will play a part for sure. I think weight is a big factor when it comes to these matches.
Um, what is your main like goal? You plan to go to super heavyweights or you plan to stay there where you are?
Well, I would like to stay for a few years at 110 kilos, just 110, 115, just because of my general health. I
Hmm.
think that because right now I'm kind of chubby and I have a lot of fatty tissue around my waist, and even probably some fatty tissue inside of my, like, how do you say that? I don't know. Uh, it's something with internal fat. I don't know, but you know
You
what
know
I
what I
mean,
think?
between my
I
organs and
think it's also maturity. I think in a couple of years, I saw my like how my body changed from 20 to now 26. It's not not such a big difference, but you will see the difference in the muscle maturity and stuff, and that will change for sure, I think, in my opinion.
yeah,
So
and in general, I just hope to stay at 110, 115,
mm,
because of my health and because of the category that I want to stay in, which is 110 kilos.
yeah, I think super heavyweight on a natural level will be super hard to do for somebody.
Yes, just because of the size of my hand. If I had a
Yeah,
little bit of a bigger hand, no problem. No problem at all. People don't even realize how blessed they are if they have big hands.
yeah.
I mean, large palms and fingers, long fingers, not the size of this hand. Just having a big fist, big hand is a huge advantage.
Dennis
Huge.
Dennis Gruber, our coach, also his hand is big, but I feel when I grab him, and I didn't feel with nobody like that, that his thumb and his wrist like merge into one. Like it's like this, you know.
Yeah,
When I
it's really
grab him,
thick.
it's like one. Like I grabbed him here. It's like the same thing for me. And
Yeah,
like you said, I think he doesn't know how blessed he is, because a lot of things he does, it's because you
it's
can't.
so much easier. Just
Yeah,
because, look, someone like Tsvetkov, he has an enormous wrist, so enormous, and the back of his hand is fat as well, and his hand in general is quite big. And he
in my
has
opinion,
back
more
wrist
intimidating than Levan's hand, because I like shake hands with both of them. Levan's hand is
somewhat, yes.
bigger in size, but his hand is like too soft. I don't want to say soft, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
And
And
George is like
yeah, it's like holding a
blockheads.
leg. It's like holding a
Yes.
leg. And the
Yes.
thing is, because he has such a fat arm and such a big surface area, uh, it doesn't matter if he lifts less weight, uh, because he can. Like I saw his training video with Krasimir, and he was able to lift 52 kilos with back pressure, and I
Yeah.
was like, "What? 52 kilos? That same lift, I could lift 70 kilos."
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is weird. And then I realized it's just the surface area of his hand is so big, he doesn't need a lot of pressure to open your hand. While
Yeah.
someone like me that has a thin hand that you can really grab onto
Mm.
needs twice as much pressure uh, to even like crack your wrist. While he can do whatever he wants with your wrist with like twice weaker back pressure than
Force
yours.
like that. Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. You're for sure right. Um, Georgie also super nice guy. I hope we will see him again in the future. Buddies, my buddies from Belgrade had a podcast with him a couple of days ago. He's
Yeah.
doing good, posting food the whole time. Legend, super nice guy. I hope really to
Yeah.
have him here in the future also. He's training Krasi. You mentioned Krasi. I think Krasi's way, like he said, of with the table time, that he does table time a lot, but he doesn't do table time with guys on his level, or let's say stronger than him, and like really controls guys. Devon does the same thing. Everybody says like Devon does table time every day. He does table time so often because he does table time with people who he can really control the whole time,
Yeah.
and he's not in trouble. Me, for example, I'm training with super strong guys. Everybody is strong in our club, and I really have a hard time controlling them like that. We have a couple of guys who are, I don't want to rank nobody in our club, but really who I can control and do some things and work on something with them. But I implemented more your style of workout in the last time, and really want to focus on more getting stronger and then doing table
Yeah.
time. Um, what, and I think this would be the last question, where I don't know how long we are here.
I don't
It's
know. It kind of passed really quickly.
super quickly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My question is, I actually two questions, because you said with kinesiology and massage and everything that you're what you're studying. Are you a fan of cupping? You like cupping?
I've never done cupping.
Do you know the purpose of doing cupping, or
Well, I think it's mainly for like recovery and getting blood flow through your muscles. So it pulls the blood to your skin, to the surface area of your
Mm.
skin through like muscles and other stuff. Yeah, I know I've heard about cupping and I heard the benefits of cupping, but I have never personally done it.
I love it actually. Um, I've done it with by going to massages and stuff. I had some back problems in the past because I did a lot of deadlifts and um uh the 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 chiropractic explained to me why and where to put them, and I bought them actually myself, and we did them a couple of days ago. And I think me personally benefits a lot. I feel that like in this area here, a lot of things feel like they're glued up. I don't know how to explain to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
stiff,
think
stiff.
by by pulling that feels much better. I don't know. It's maybe just in my head, but I think that that helps me a lot. And
Yeah, I would have to do some research on cupping before I could say anything. So
yeah,
like
yeah, I see you
yeah,
doing
whatever
it.
I'm saying is like right now from like hearing things. I have no idea
Mm,
like what it does actually.
mm. And the second and last question is, do you take some daily supplements for just general health, and
Uh,
what are you taking
yeah,
on a daily
I
basis?
before I used to take them much more often, but lately I've become lazy. I have no idea how, but I've just become lazy and I forget to take them. Uh,
That's the
so what I
benefit
usually
of
take
having a wife. My wife, every day in the
always
morning,
reminds you.
everything
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
ready. I just have to take it and drink it, and I don't know what I'm taking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's like responsible if I die someday, whose fault it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whose fault it is?
Yeah,
But what I used to take and what I take from time to time is fish oil, so omega-3 acids.
yeah, great.
I take some glucosamine. Uh, I take some as well. What is the name of it? It starts with a C. Um, collagen,
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
or collagen on English in
Mm.
English. Um, I take some magnesium as well. Some zinc. Um, I used to take multivitamins, and then I added additional vitamin D and vitamin C. Um, and one more thing, but I forgot what. And I took some like elastic
Mm.
joint stuff, something for your
Helped
joints.
you or no?
Yes, it helped me a lot actually on my recovery. So whenever I would rest and whenever I would take these supplements, I would notice that in a week, I would notice a lot more recovering happening. So in a shorter amount of time, I recovered more. And now that I've stopped, it takes a lot of time to recover. And I don't drink protein or creatine as well.
Mhm.
I haven't drank protein in like freaking 3.5 years. And creatine I haven't had maybe in 6 months. Just because creatine because I'm lazy. I don't know
Mm.
why. But protein because I kind of got sick of the flavor because I used to take protein every single day for 2 years, and then I kind of got sick of it, and I
Want a
couldn't
pro tip?
really, yeah, couldn't even ingest it.
Unflavored
So
protein
chocolate,
and flavors. Unflavored protein and flavors. And then you can change it up every day. Super nice. We do it like this, me and my wife. We have like unflavored protein. Sometimes when I take it to the gym, I forgot to put the flavors.
and then and what it doesn't
It's
taste like
like
anything, or
it tastes like vanilla protein, but like you put like 2 grams of protein and everything is water. It's like it tastes like you
very
barely,
mild,
yeah,
mild.
it's but it's like you you see that something is in there, but it doesn't. It's horrible. But I love the fact that we do this. We have like 5 or 6 flavors, and I change it up every day. but I mostly drink protein in the morning with the shake, like bananas and spinach and protein and oats, and that's my,
Yeah, yeah,
because I'm, like you said, I'm lazy to cook in the morning when I wake up, and that's the fastest thing I can take, and it's like super beneficial. So that's what I'm drinking in the morning. The most liquid I intake in my body is like in the first hour I wake up. It's like greens and some stuff for your stomach and like cleaning and stuff. It's like
yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah.
so much liquid. I drink like two liters of liquid in like first 1 hour. Yeah.
Good. That's the good routine that you find for yourself.
Yeah, it's like if I don't drink it in the morning, I will not drink 100% in the rest of the day. I completely forget about it. I don't think about it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the last time with this YouTube and social media marketing and focusing on
And
that.
work and everything, it's hard to.
Actually, at the moment, I don't work nothing. I really focused in the last 3 months fully on this. Um, I I have less time than when I worked. I really have less time than when I worked. I have really have to schedule my workout every day a day before to know when I'm gonna go train to not miss out. But some days I from editing and being so much in front of the screen, I'm super tired, more tired than I worked like actual job.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and I
It's
want to make
exhausting
it for,
because
yeah,
you're learning new stuff. I think that's more
super
exhausting than
super hard on the
physical
head.
work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. More a lot harder, and I do it. I like screw up a little bit my sleeping measurement. I sleep like I go to
Schedule,
bed.
skipping sleep
Yeah, yeah,
schedule
I go super late to bed, and I wake up not
early.
not so late, not so late. I wake up like I sleep like 5 6 hours, and I feel that you can go like this for a couple of days, but like after 3 days, I feel super exhausted the whole
Tired.
day, and I'm not good for anything. So um I must change this. This is the main focus. Like I focus now on changing this. And yeah, Rino, thank you again
No
for
problem.
coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
And
I
I hope
wish
to see
you.
you soon again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will see you soon. I actually wanted to invite you to come and train with us. I know you don't like table time, but we can learn a lot from you also.
Of
Outside of
course.
table time, I really would love to have you here to spend some time with you to know you better. And yeah, whenever you finish and have some more room with your school and studying and don't have planned match, we'd like to have you here. It's like 4 hours by car. I don't think it's much. We had like
Yeah.
4 hours. Yeah, it's not much. Um, would love to have you in the future, and I hope to see you soon, my friend. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for coming.
No problem. See you.
Stay strong and
And
drink
a lot of
rakia.
arm wrestling.